Welcome to Election 22 Candidate Focus. I'm Brayden Creveling, and today I'm sitting down with Tammie Wilson, Democrat candidate for Congress, Ohio District 4. Tammie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for sitting down with me.
Yeah.
Jumping right into things, since 2007, Jim Jordan has run for election unopposed. What made you want to step up and be his competitor?
Well, he hasn't run unopposed. You mean by the Republican Party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I really see him as someone who isn't really doing his job. He hasn't introduced any bills in 15 years. He's voted against bills that would actually help Ohioans. He voted against the gas cap hike, which farmers, they need gas, and so does everyone else for that matter. A lot of people in the district will travel for their job to like Columbus, or they commute, to work. So helping people out financially with the gas cap hike would have really been beneficial. He voted against the CHIPS Act. That too, that's set to bring $20 billion to Ohio and 10,000 jobs. And the difference between him and I would have fought to get those jobs to District 4, where he actually just voted against it, which is really giving a leg up to China, rather than supporting Ohio and America. He also voted against the burn pit for veterans health care. He plans to demolish Social Security and Medicare. These are things that hit everyday Americans, everyday Ohioans, that he really, someone with his $21 million net worth, just really cannot relate to.
Mm-hmm. Now, you would like to protest Jim Jordan's eligibility on the ballot, as it is a violation of our 14th Amendment, Article 3.
Yes.
Now, why would you like to bring this issue to attention?
Anyone that is going to violate the Constitution, obviously they're not defending it, and that's your first job to, as a congressperson or someone in our government, your first job is to defend the Constitution and the country. And he did not do that. He actually violated it. So he should be expelled. I don't know why they haven't done it already. So hopefully the voters can take care of that.
Mm-hmm. The 4th District includes communities like Delaware, Ashland, Lima, Mansfield, and Marion. These communities lean to be 67% Republican and 31% Democratic. What makes you still think you can be elected despite these percentages?
I'm really excited about the redistricting. 53% of the district is new to Jim Jordan. 25% of that vote comes from Delaware. And everyone has their hot button with him. A lot of people do not like him because of his involvement in the OSU sexual abuse scandal that he claims he doesn't know anything about, which is a blatant lie. Some people do not like his conduct on the floor in Congress. He's an embarrassment to Ohio. I was actually in Champaign County last night for a fall dinner, and the citizens there are they're just humiliated by his presence, and they're just really anxious to get him out of office. Some people do not like the fact of his involvement in the planning of January 6th, the attack on our Capitol. And some people just don't like the fact that he doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. So everyone has their little hot button with him, and I'm really hopeful. I am just a very common sense candidate that wants to represent the people and get things done for the people. And I'm really hopeful that I can pull it across the finish line.
Mm-hmm. You are representing the Democratic Party, but speak about things that would appeal to Republican voters. Have you ever thought about being Republican?
I would say I'm probably more independent. I side with some things. I do think there's a lot of wasteful spending in our government, and that is something that I would like to address. I'm very financially conservative. I won my primary race with less than $5,000 against my opponent who raised over $1 million. He had over 60 volunteers and a team of experts, and I beat him by myself. So I'm extremely resourceful and, fiscally conservative. And so I think that our government needs to do a better job at really kind of managing the money, and I think that is something that I would like to be involved in.
What does it mean to you to be a voice for the voiceless, like the working class, minorities, and women?
Yeah. I mean, again, you have a representative who voted against something that would help veterans. They're the people that have fought for our country. How can you vote against helping them? Minorities, same thing. There are a lot of issues that minorities face in our country. There's still racism, even though some people don't want to acknowledge that. But if you look at incarceration, if you look at the foster care system, it's overflowing with, Black and brown babies or children. Our prisons are full of Black and brown people. You cannot deny the facts. You cannot deny the statistics. So we really need to take a look at that and really do something to address those concerns. If you, like myself, I'm a single mom. And so we really need to empower, I believe, our citizens, our Americans, so everyone can have a better life. And that is something that I'm really strong. That's one of my really strongest things that I want to do, once I get to Congress. So women, girls, unfortunately, we do not get paid the same amount as men do for the same job. There have been plenty of times that I have been not hired for a position because I was a woman, because I was a mom, because I was a single mom. I've been refused or denied promotions from jobs because I was a woman. I was denied different positions within an organization because I was a woman. I was literally told more than once, well, he has a family. Well, I have a family too. And so there are a lot of reasons, there's a lot of things that women and minorities deal with on a daily basis that are just not being addressed by our government. And, women make over 50% of the population, and we only make up 24% in the Senate, 26% in the House, and 30% in state and local government. We really need to change that. Domestic violence is also a huge issue on my platform as well. And you can look at our own Congress. There's Matt Gaetz, who was involved with human trafficking, and he's still in Congress. He's still on the floor in our government. So when you have situations like this, and then you have the good old boy system where they kind of cover for each other and take care of each other, and things just kind of get brushed under the rug, or, for one red tape excuse after another, we just need more women in Washington. So.
Now, your reason for running for Congress is because, quote, Washington isn't doing enough for us, quote. Would you like to elaborate on that at all?
Absolutely. So, and I've had my own business for 20 years. And in 2019, I thought I would start something new. And so I launched a new business, and then in 2020, I had to shut it down. And then I lost a lot of money, and I was not able to recoup anything from the government assistance, any of the PPP loans or anything, because it was just me. I didn't have any employees, so I didn't qualify for anything. I also didn't qualify for anything because of all the parameters, all the qualifications that they put around all of the assistance. So since I had had a tax loss, I didn't qualify. Well, I just launched the business, so of course I have a tax loss, So I just feel that although it may look good on paper, I just feel that our legislators, although hopefully well-intentioned, they're just really missing the mark with how their policies actually affect everyday Americans. And once I started my campaign and talking with people around the district, I found that I'm not the only person that has experienced that. I know a farmer, she's trying to turn her farm green, so she has been trying to get funding for this filtration system for waste. And so it's like a $300,000 system that she's been trying to get funded for. So she's been caught in red tape for the past 2 years trying to get the funding, the government assistance, because it would make her farm more green. So there is assistance out there, but the red tape is just so thick that you just can't really get the help that you really should be able to qualify for. So it's situations like that, small business owners, women, minorities, that I want to represent in Washington.
Well, you say yes to women's rights, lower gas prices and inflation, a safer America, improving the economy, American workers, improving education, supporting small businesses, and affordable health care.
You guys did your homework.
What is the most important issue you are going to take action on?
Well, I think that women's rights would probably be the most immediate one. I am pro-life. I'm also pro-choice. I think that it's important for women to have make their own decisions as far as their own health care goes. I think that is really super important. There are so many just too many factors that could go awry, that, a woman's life could be in danger, or, my cousin, his baby was born without a brain. So you already know that that child is not even, going to be able to have life. And so, ectopic pregnancy, that's another one where a lot of times, it's just dangerous. Same thing with diseases like tubular pregnancies, or I'm sorry, I already said that, or diabetes or lupus. Those are other diseases that could really, jeopardize a woman's life. And so, I think it really, for people that are pro-life, they should be pro-Roe, because Roe is all about the viability of the fetus, and that is what Roe stands for. And so that leaves room for people that, they have the time span to make their decision, but a lot of times, some people just don't even know that they're pregnant. Women, men don't understand the women's anatomy. Sometimes we don't either. But, sometimes they have irregular menstruations, or some girls, depending on the birth control that they use, which could be advised by their physician that they get on birth control of some type to help regulate their hormones, to, people that are estrogen heavy, that they could be susceptible to cancer, where contraceptives could really help regulate their hormone levels. There are just so many factors that go into it. And to me, by overturning a woman's right to choose, it really is just the gateway to other things. They're already talking about taking away women's contraceptives. They're talking about taking away IVF. There are a lot of women, people that are fertility challenged. And so, for people that are right to life, I don't understand why they would prevent someone from wanting to have a baby. So to me, it just proves that it's really not about being pro-life. It's really more about control. And women should have control over their own body and their own lives.
Well, thank you, Tammie, for sitting down with me tonight, and good luck in your race against Jim Jordan.
Thank you.
Now back to the Election 22 newsroom for more coverage.